Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be diving right into a really incredible, scientifically backed approach to caring for some of our most delicate, voiceless companions, exotic pets. So, here's a big question for you. How do we actually advocate for the health of creatures who literally cannot speak for themselves? I mean, think about it. When a dog or a cat feels under the weather, they usually let us know, right? They whine, they seek us out. But exotic animals, like birds, reptiles, and small mammals, have actually evolved to hide their illnesses. In the wild, showing weakness makes you prey. So when they're in our care, their silent struggles can completely fly under the radar until it's a critical emergency. Because of this unique vulnerability, the emotional stakes for us as their caregivers are incredibly high. When you think about the sheer diversity of exotics, from the vibrant feathers of a macaw to the incredible scales of an iguana, or the sweet little faces of rabbits and ferrets, it's just amazing. But what we don't always see on the outside is just how incredibly sensitive their digestive systems are on the inside. Unlike your standard house pets, the margin for error with an exotic animal's diet and gut health is razor thin. They absolutely require a level of compassionate care that's as highly specialized as their unique biology. Now, let's talk about what's known as the silent struggle. For these exotics, one of the very first, and sometimes literally the only signs of stress or digestive distress, is a sudden refusal to eat. And let me tell you, stress-related appetite loss is a massive red flag. Whether it's caused by a simple change in their environment, a tiny drop in temperature, or an underlying illness, when an exotic animal stops eating, things go downhill incredibly fast. It creates so much anxiety for us caregivers, right? Because you know the clock is ticking, but you also feel completely helpless to just force them to eat. Well, this is exactly where science steps up to meet compassion. We're going to explore a really targeted solution from the Exotic Care series by MBS NutriScience called APPETOVEX-EX. Now, this isn't just a quick Band-Aid fix to force-feed an animal. It's an entire comprehensive digestive support system. Instead of just masking the problem, it naturally stimulates their appetite, improves overall digestion, and makes sure the gut flora is healthy enough to actually absorb nutrients. And crucially, it directly targets that stress-related appetite loss we just talked about, gently coaxing their little systems back into a state of healthy hunger. The core philosophy here is nature-inspired, science-driven, and the focus is squarely on gut health and vitality. By targeting the digestive tract directly, it provides optimal nutrition in a way that is incredibly safe. You aren't relying on any harsh, artificial chemicals that might end up upsetting an already delicate exotic system even further. It just goes straight to the source to promote healing. So what's actually in it? Let's break down the ingredients, because this is where the magic really happens. It's all about synergy. You've got 10 milligrams each of gentian and dill extract, which are fantastic, well-documented natural herbs that gently wake up the appetite. Then there's 2.5 milligrams of pepsin. That provides the enzymatic support they need to break down the food once they actually start eating again. Plus, it is absolutely packed with B vitamins, B1, B2, B6, and B12. These are totally vital because stressed exotics burn through their cellular energy incredibly fast. And finally, you have 50 milligrams of L-lysine, which is a really critical amino acid for weight gain, growth, and just overall vitality. It's a highly bioavailable powerhouse. To really grasp why this specific formula is such a game changer, we have to talk about gut flora. That's the complex little community of microscopic life living inside the digestive tract. For these fragile exotic species, keeping that delicate balance of microorganisms happy is literally the foundation of their health. If their gut flora is thrown off by stress or a bad diet, they can't absorb nutrients, no matter how much they manage to eat. This formula is specifically designed to protect and maintain that flora. That way, when the animal gets its appetite back, its body can actually use those nutrients to gain weight and recover. As a caregiver, I know your top priority is safety. You want to know exactly what is going into your vulnerable pet's body, for sure. The really beautiful thing here is the stark contrast between harsh chemical interventions and natural support. This formula contains absolutely no harmful chemicals, zero. It relies entirely on natural ingredients that are highly bioavailable, which just means the animal's body can easily absorb and use them right away. And because it's natural, exotics actually readily accept it. It takes all the fight and the stress right out of administering care. And speaking of keeping things stress-free, the dosing is incredibly adaptable. If you have birds, reptiles, or tortoises, it's just 1 to 2 milliliters mixed right into their drinking water or their food. For small mammals, rabbits, and ferrets, just a gentle 0.5 to 1 millimeter. It's super precise, so there's absolutely no guesswork. You can just slip these drops into their daily routine without having to handle or poke or distress an animal that's already feeling anxious. you're effortlessly giving them life-saving digestive support. All of this potent care comes packed in a concentrated 50-milliliter bottle. And since the doses are just tiny little milliliters at a time, this one bottle gives you a premium, really long-lasting supply of optimal nutrition. It's formulated for veterinary use, meaning whether you're a clinician running a busy exotic ward or just a super dedicated pet parent at home, you've got a reliable, lasting tool to support their digestive health day in and day out. Now, shifting gears just a bit, let's talk about the people behind this targeted care. MBS NutriScience is driven by a really powerful philosophy: feeding the future, healing with science. This goes way beyond just manufacturing a product. It's about a much broader vision of animal welfare. It's this deep understanding that through scientifically sound nutrition, we are quite literally feeding the future of these amazing species. We're helping them truly thrive in our care, not just barely survive. But beautiful philosophies don't mean much unless they're backed by rigorous standards. And that brings us to the issue of trust. MBS NutriScience actually holds GMP certification, meaning good manufacturing practice. So everything is consistently produced to incredibly strict quality standards. They are also ISO 9001:2015 certified, which is an international mark of excellence, and they're even kosher certified. What does this mean for you? It means their deep compassion for animals is backed up by unyielding, human-grade manufacturing standards. You don't have to just take their word for it. You have globally recognized proof of quality right there. So when you see a bottle of APPETOVEX-EX, you aren't just looking at an animal feed supplement. You're actually looking at a guarantee. Those certification badges, GMP, ISO, kosher, right next to the promises of natural ingredients, represent the core mandate of the Exotic Care series. It is a genuine pledge of safety, efficacy, and compassionate care that was designed specifically to protect the absolute most vulnerable creatures. And really, this brings us to the true heart of the matter. When we use advanced, scientifically proven tools to restore the appetite and heal the gut of a struggling exotic pet, we're doing so much more than basic husbandry. We're fulfilling a moral mission. True humanity is measured by how we protect and heal the smallest, most voiceless creatures among us. By easing their silent struggles, we actually elevate our own humanity. We step in and we become the strength that they lack. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on as we wrap up today's explainer. When that silent alarm of stress and appetite loss inevitably sounds in your home or your clinic, how will you respond? Will you be the compassionate voice and the healing hand for the speechless creatures in your care? Armed with the right science and a heart completely full of empathy, I truly believe you have everything you need to help them thrive. Thanks so much for joining me today.